The F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program stands as a monumental testament to modern engineering ambition. Yet it simultaneously serves as a stark reminder of the complexities and pitfalls inherent in developing cutting-edge defense technology. With a projected lifetime cost now exceeding an astonishing $2 trillion, the F-35 is not just an aircraft, it's a trillion-dollar question mark hanging over military procurement. Its exorbitant price tag isn't due to a single flaw, but rather a confluence of overly ambitious design choices, a risky development strategy, persistent technical hurdles, and ballooning sustainment expenses. The stark contrast between its initial cost estimates and its current projections paints a vivid picture of these systemic issues. The history of the F-35's cost is a dramatic escalation. When the program was announced in 2001, then Secretary of the Air Force Jim Roche stated that the total cost of the program, from development to production, would be approximately $200 billion. Individual F-35 jets were initially projected to cost between $40 million and $50 million apiece. Fast forward to the present, and these figures are barely recognizable. The total acquisition cost has now climbed to approximately $442 billion, a staggering increase of over 120% from the initial estimate of $200 billion. When factoring in the long-term sustainment and operating costs for the planned fleet over its expected 66-year lifetime, the total program cost has ballooned to an estimated $2 trillion, according to recent reports from the Government Accountability Office. This represents a tenfold increase from the original comprehensive program cost estimates. Notably, the GAO reported in April 2024 that the lifetime cost had increased from $1.7 trillion to over $2 trillion, due in part to inflation and the extended operational life of the aircraft. At its core, the F-35's cost stems from an unprecedented design ambition, creating a single aircraft to serve three vastly different roles. The program aimed to produce three distinct variants: the F-35A for conventional takeoff and landing for the Air Force, the F-35B for short takeoff/vertical landing for the Marine Corps and Royal Navy, and the F-35C for carrier-based operations for the Navy. This one-size-fits-all approach, while seemingly efficient on paper, introduced immense engineering challenges. Each variant required unique structural modifications, propulsion systems, and software configurations, multiplying the complexity and the associated research and development costs. Integrating stealth capabilities, advanced avionics, sensor fusion, and a network of sophisticated software systems into these diverse platforms demanded specialized materials, intricate manufacturing processes, and exhaustive testing, all of which propelled initial expenditure skyward. Compounding the inherent design complexity was a controversial development strategy known as concurrency. This approach involved commencing full-rate production of the aircraft even while development and rigorous testing were still underway. The rationale was to accelerate deployment and reduce the time to get the F-35 into the hands of warfighters. However, this gamble backfired spectacularly. As testing unearthed numerous design flaws and performance deficiencies, already produced aircraft required extensive and costly retrofits and modifications. Instead of addressing issues on paper or in prototypes, problems discovered in later test phases necessitated tearing apart and rebuilding expensive near-finished jets. This build-it-and-fix-it-later mentality proved to be a costly lesson, adding billions in rework and delaying operational readiness. Even after initial production, the F-35 has been plagued by a litany of technical issues, particularly concerning its software and sophisticated hardware. The original Autonomic Logistics Information System, ALIS, intended to be the backbone of maintenance and logistics, proved to be cumbersome, unreliable, and prone to errors, significantly hindering the aircraft's mission readiness. While ALIS is now being replaced by the Operational Data Integrated Network, or ODIN, this transition itself has faced delays and added costs. Beyond software, hardware deficiencies have also surfaced,
including issues with the engine's cooling system leading to premature wear, problems with ejection seats, tire failures, and even an initially inaccurate gun on the F-35A. Furthermore, crucial modernization efforts such as the Block 4 upgrades and the Technology Refresh 3 hardware and software suite have been beset by technical hurdles and supply chain disruptions, pushing back the delivery of essential new capabilities and further inflating the program's budget.
Perhaps the most significant driver of the F-35's colossal price tag, however, lies in its sustainment and operational costs. Beyond the initial procurement, the sheer expense of maintaining, repairing, and operating these highly complex aircraft over their projected lifespan is staggering. The F-35's advanced materials and specialized components demand intricate and costly maintenance procedures. Forecasts now place sustainment costs alone at over $1.58 trillion. Despite these massive expenditures, the F-35 fleet has consistently struggled to meet its mission-capable rates, meaning a substantial portion of the aircraft are frequently grounded for maintenance, thereby reducing operational efficiency and increasing the cost per flight hour. To mitigate these spiraling costs, the Department of Defense has even reduced planned annual flight hours, a measure that, while offering some financial relief, can impact pilot training and overall readiness. The decision to extend the F-35's planned service life to 2088, a full 11 years longer than initially envisioned, further exacerbates the long-term cost burden, especially when accounting for inflation.
Pilots' perspectives on the F-35's performance reveal a compelling story of a platform that, despite its tumultuous development, delivers exceptional capabilities in the hands of its operators. A consistent theme emerging from the cockpit is an overwhelming appreciation for the aircraft's core strengths, particularly its advanced systems and unparalleled situational awareness. A common refrain among F-35 pilots is that the aircraft is easy to fly, challenging to fight. This adage highlights two key aspects. The fly-by-wire controls make the F-35 remarkably stable and intuitive in basic flight maneuvers, allowing pilots to focus on higher-level tasks. However, challenging to fight underscores the steep learning curve required to fully exploit the jet's complex sensor fusion, stealth, and network-centric capabilities in a dynamic combat scenario. This isn't a knock on the aircraft's performance, but rather an acknowledgement of the depth of its technological sophistication. While the positive feedback on its in-flight performance is widespread, the F-35 program has faced scrutiny in certain areas, sometimes acknowledged by pilots themselves, though often pertaining to programmatic rather than in-flight issues. Its kinematic performance, in terms of raw speed and turn rate, has been a point of comparison with older, more agile fighters like the F-16 or F-22. However, proponents, including most F-35 pilots, counter that modern air combat is predominantly beyond visual range, where the F-35's stealth and sensor fusion negate the need for extensive close-in maneuvering. Pilots trained on the F-35 learn to exploit its stealth and sensor advantages to avoid dogfights altogether, making kinematic comparisons less relevant in its intended combat role. Moreover, while pilots praise the capabilities of the F-35 software, they're keenly aware of the well-documented programmatic challenges. Issues with the Autonomic Logistics Information System and ongoing modernization efforts have impacted aircraft availability and maintenance, indirectly affecting pilot training and overall readiness. These logistical hurdles are a source of frustration for pilots on the ground, even as they marvel at the jet's performance in the air. Ultimately, flying the F-35 requires a significant mindset shift for pilots transitioning from older aircraft. It's less about raw speed and turning ability, and more about processing information, leveraging stealth, and effectively commanding the battle space as a networked asset.
The F-35 program, in its quest for unparalleled aerial superiority, has inadvertently become a complex case study in the challenges of modern defense acquisition. Its extraordinary cost is not merely a reflection of its advanced capabilities, but a consequence of ambitious design choices, a problematic concurrency strategy, persistent technical setbacks, and ever-escalating sustainment requirements. As the F-35 continues to mature, Addressing these inherent issues will be paramount to ensuring that this multi-trillion-dollar investment truly delivers the promised returns in national security.